G'day everyone and welcome to this week's Life on the Hulls, and a very different life on the hulls. These days I'm back in the factory and absolutely chock-a-block with work at the moment. The Catamaran, it never ends. There's plenty of work coming up this week and lots more to come because they're 1 year on from our launch and we still are finishing up the plumbing, the flooring and a lot of the furnishings and the electrical. So there's lots more to come on the actual Catamaran build as well. Our local tour operator, Sea Kayak Jervis Bay, which we used to own, has ordered a brand new fleet of double sea kayaks, and they're in here. They're actually being built right now. I've got about another week worth of work to get done here and just finish up laying up a new hull down here. So I'm actually going to put these in the videos because these are really interesting the way these boats are made, and there's a lot of work to be done to bring these up to the standard of an operator that is going to give them a fair amount of punishment. So lots of work, and these are our boats, so we love them. And as you can see, the signature splatter design that I tend to put into a lot of my boats is prominent here in these brand new boats. So let's get into the work. It never ends. It's 39 degrees today, so I'm feeling it, especially laying up hulls of fiberglass kayaks because they are a big job. They're about a 4-hour layup, and in 39 degrees you've got to work fast, you've got to work smart. Let's get into it. These little lights masking taped onto the wall here, and someone made a comment the other day about why is there blue masking tape all over the boat? Is that denoting mistakes, repairs, leaks? Tick all of the above.
Read unfinished jobs. I am ruling the day, or hoping for the day, of no blue masking tape because I'm sick of looking at it.
I love this stuff because it's good for holding doors open and doors shut that I haven't quite got to. But today I've had those little lights just stuck to the wall here and wired up, but it's time to mount them. So I've just mounted this one here, and it's also acting as a bit of a support for our roof liner, which is dropping a little bit. So because it's a large one, this one here, the roof liner actually, this is acting like a Chesterman lounge effect. And the nice thing about that is that once this guy's in place, there's our anchor alarm going off because we are getting belted here today with 50 knot winds on the mooring. But yeah, that looks pretty nice. Yeah,
yep.
Cool. So that's beautiful. That's now holding that right up, which is just fantastic. So cool. I'm happy with that.
So am I.
Get on to all the other rooms because we have no lights in any of the rooms. We went and bought these little LED sensor lights, these rechargeable ones. They're absolutely fantastic. And you know what that's done? Taking the pressure off.
Better put it on straight. You haven't put it on straight.
Bit of spaghetti soup up here at the moment. Sorry. These tiny little wires are buggers of things to crimp, so you got to fold them over and.
Oh, my husband is too tall, so I can't get the camera.
Ready? Look at that.
And look.
That's your first two lights.
Look. Look around. Look around. No blue tape.
Oh, there's some on the door there. See that?
Yeah, but I'm not looking at that right now. I'm looking at a space that doesn't have any because there's not many of them.
Check out the fan over there. That's a cracker.
See?
Fan's been held on with blue tape.
It's a moving.
It's because I can't decide where things need to be.
And I've found him doing another job.
But while we're waiting, we might as well get stuff done, eh?
Yeah. Oh, the southerlies just come through now, and that is cool.
Yeah, it's cold.
So we're facing a different direction now, but it's still going to be really strong.
So these bloody things were getting in my way for too long. So simply a couple of hooks up in there, easy to grab, and even Janet can reach them. I'm just ticking off the jobs for old Tic Tac today. That's cool. It has just dropped about 20 degrees. It is bloody cold with this wind coming through. I have to get some warm clothes on. There you go. So can you reach that now? That's the only problem.
Yeah.
Rip it out. Show us your form. There you go. Well done. Can you put it back? That's the more important thing. Put it away, not down. That's my motto. Well done.
Is it? Is it really your
Except for all the
motto?
blue tape.
Apart from all Ross's stuff.
Apart from all my stuff. Yeah. Put it away, not down is my motto. Yeah, I'm getting there. But even better. Yeah. Starting to act like the Sailing Brothers here. Oh, let's have cake. It's a job and a half. I see the guys do it without masking tape, and I wonder how the hell they do it. Anyway, I'm not prepared to do that. I'll tidy this up. I like it. Black probably would have looked good, you know.
Oh, yeah, but I do like this. I think with the black you'd see the imperfections or where it's thicker and thin, whereas it won't be, because you've got the brown floor, it's not as obvious.
Yeah, that looks $1,000,000. Once it dries, it's good.
Yeah, well, it blends more once it dries, right?
Right, well, I like that. That was so much better.
And more importantly, I do.
Cool. And the last bit is here under the dinette module. So, well, it's not the last bit, it's basically like the second bit of the whole boat, but nice to get a few things done. In fact, Janet's working away here, but this has come up so nice, and it darkens a little bit with age, so the longer you get away from the cure, the better it looks. Oh, we're having a boat day, and it's nice to get some jobs done, and Janet's been at me because this engine insulation has been taking up, well, basically half of each of the cabins. So, and I've just realised I've actually got twice as much as I need, but I'm finally going to get it on. How I'm putting it on, it's actually self-adhesive, but I know with the heat of the engine, eventually that's going to fail. So what I've done is I've got a hole saw and hole sawed some pucks out of ABS plastic, and that's going to hold them in sort of like a Chesterman fashion. You can see here I've actually cut this one in, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to tape them together with aluminium tape. You don't want any air voids in your insulation at all, and I'll be doing all the way up underneath the engine rooms as well. But yeah, just a simple screw into the fiberglass. No need to paint or fair or anything with this stuff because it's all going to get covered anyway. And then we just basically just stick it in place. And before I screw it in, I just want to make sure it's going to fit around the, oh it does, look at that, look at the seal. We're getting a total seal around all the mouldings here, and then there's obviously a washboard here that goes here which will have insulation on it as well. So that's perfect, look at that, spot on, easy. So I'm liking them nice and evenly spaced. And we don't want to put them too far out to the edge because what it'll do, it'll pull the insulation in like that. Whereas this one here, 8 centimeters in, seems to be the sweet spot, which gives me the correct insulation on the side. And then I'm going to aluminium tape this so there's no gap there. It's actually got a rubber membrane in here. We've got 1 inch of foam here, another rubbery membrane here, and then another centimeter of foam. So clearly that's where you get the sound and hopefully some heat insulation from it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Right, That's all you need, just enough to hold it and pin it in place, and that should never ever fall down now. You can buy the pucks, but they're like $1 each. I made these for about 5 cents. Okay, on to the starboard cabin engine room, and basically this one's roughly the same size, so it's got to be done in 2 pieces. It's about a centimetre too narrow for the width of the door, so I've got to do it in 2 pieces, cut and obviously spliced in and then taped up so that we don't get any leakage of heat or noise. Anyway, nice and simple. This engine room, this one's my baby because it's nice and open, and the other one's got a lot more in it. It has the autopilot pump, and it's got a whole lot of other stuff in there that I wish it wasn't in there, but it is the master side. So this is my nice, neat and very organised engine room, and there's a lot more space in here, particularly when you get down the back because it hasn't got the hot water system. However, I have left room there for a water maker up in the back there, and once that's in there, it's going to be a lot less room in there, but it is still more than enough room to stand up inside the back of that. I've left that head space in there just for that reason. Nice. Having a great day. I've just been up to Kiama, which is a town a bit further north of here, to pick up Ellen, who's come home, and I haven't seen her for over 6 months. Janet popped down to see her in Tasmania about 2 months ago, so it's a really lovely day for us, and she's going to stay with us for a couple of nights on the boat. We're going to take her out in the bay, take her for a sail hopefully, and she hasn't seen the boat for almost a year since we launched it, so really lovely to have her home. Where is she? Where's our Ellen?
Hello.
Where are you?
Hello. Oh, it's a new camera.
Yeah, it's cool.
Where'd
It's
you get
really
that?
cool. We bought it to take it to Monaco. Sam advised us on this new camera, this little DJI Osmo, and it's an absolute cracker, but this is my best day. Got our Ellen on the boat, a couple of days out on the boat, can't wait, and it's always lovely to have Ellen. Zach didn't come up, he'll be up again in about 3 weeks?
Yeah, when we're back.
About 3.5 weeks. We're coming back for Christmas, so absolutely rapt to have them here, and they're going to be staying with us on the boat just before Christmas as well, and we'll get out and do some sailing with Zach because he deserves it as well. Yeah, but Ellen has picked the coldest weekend that we've had in about 8 weeks to have a trip home, and she's going to do a course up in Canberra for what are you studying? Cut. I had to do that just for you.
She may not want to tell anyone.
What are you studying at Canberra
Just
Uni?
doing some rivers work.
Ellen's going to Canberra to do a course, and it should be it's an accreditation thing that she's doing, and then she'll be flying back to Tassie, back with Zach for another 3 weeks, and then back up here for Christmas. And we're going to have a family time at Christmas time, which is really nice. Looking forward to it. Pretty happy with being on the boat, Ellen?
Yeah, it's pretty nice in here.
It's pretty comfy, isn't it?
Very good. It's pretty good. Mum makes a good cup of tea as well. And
Janet buys chocolate from Aldi. Ellen doesn't have Aldi in Hobart, so every time Ellen comes up, there's chocolate everywhere. But the one thing that Ellen has just arrived, and she's already critiquing my woodwork. She's been at every corner and every mitre and picking on my mitering Zach. And she does it with Zach's business as well, because Zach fits out camper vans in Hobart, and she's picking on him as well already. It only took you, what? It only took you half an hour.
Quality inspector.
Oh, she walked straight into one of the cabins and goes, "You going to fix this?" And then walked over there, "You going to fix this?" I said, "Yeah, I'll get to it. But that's the way it is, isn't it?
It's been a year since you put this thing on the water.
Cut.
Cut.
Ellen quite hasn't got the filmmaking thing yet. She still laughs every time I go, click. Hang on.
I forgot
Cut.
what I was going to say.
You were going to say it's been a year since I launched
Oh,
it.
it's been a year since you've launched it.
Yep.
You'd think you'd fix the joinery. I'm kidding, by the way, guys.
This family fair income. It doesn't matter what you do, you never do it right. That's never perfect.
Can we just tell your viewers that I am joking?
Ellen is joking. She
a
is.
sarcastic person.
Ellen is as hard on me as Janet is. I'm telling you now.
You know, there's the smallest violin over here. It really is small.
Oh, happy days. I got the both of them for the 2 days. I just got back from England where I had 4 Janets. 4 Janets picking on me, and now I've got 2 Janets picking on me. So it's getting better.
Can you tell he's running out of content, guys?
This is my content now.
Recommendations for content.
Yeah, good idea. What
Now
was
it's just us having a yarn.
And that is the best part. That is the best part, is just us having a yarn, for us anyway. We've just headed out into the bay. We put the sails up, no wind. First time we've had no wind in months, and there's no wind, so we're not sailing this morning. Hopefully the Savo we might get some wind and be able to head out and have a bit of a sail and a bit of a run for Ellen. We're just running her through all the lines and everything. She did really well. She's strong as, super strong kid. Feeling alright, Ellen?
Yeah.
Enjoying it?
Yeah.
Pretty nice, eh?
Yeah.
It's like just like your normal job, isn't it? Out on the water.
More pleasure.
A lot more pleasure.
Yeah.
It's a little cat, isn't it? It's only about 8 metres long. The little one going across in front of Point Perth there. Got a couple of nice little boats here. Got a little 30-foot yacht over there, and then we've got Watermark, which is a 14-metre shonning over here, anchored up. He's probably on his way to Tassie. I think it's a Kiwi boat by the look of it. It's hard to tell actually. I'll have to have a look on the AIS. Here's our Ellen having a bit of a cruise. We're out having a walk on the beach. Nice, eh?
Much nicer over here than over there.
Yeah, the north side of the bay. We were going to head up to the north side of the bay today, and it's yuck up there. It's very wet, and we're down on the southern side of the bay, which is about 25 kilometres away, and it's stunning. It's overcast and cool, but it's beautiful. So we're at Scottish Rocks, which is in the Buddery National Park, one of our favourite spots. We just come and hang here for a day or so and just chill. Synergy's sitting pretty over there. How are you, mate? Good. You good?
Hello.
Hey, Dad.
Hello, Ellen.
How you doing?
Long time no see.
Yeah, alright.
How are you?
Good, mate. Ellen's up for the weekend. We thought we'd go sailing, but there's been no wind until now.
How was the night? Did you sleep last night?
Yeah. Oh, we didn't stay out here. We were on the creek last night.
Yeah.
Nice paddle, mate.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
This is your second group.
My people are in a bit of a hurry in the first sesh. They
On.
couldn't come over and say hello.
Oh, is that right?
Water.
You're looking good, guys. Look at that. You guys have got the life.
Oh, where's the little mate?
Mate, that's it. You got the good guide. He's not a bad bloke, this bloke.
He's handsome too, isn't he?
He is a champion. Have a nice trip, guys.
Yep, thanks, mate.
Hashtag Sea Kayak Jervis Bay. I got 2 brand new ones. I'm making him. The only problem with Ellen coming up for the weekend is she's still got to work. Everybody works these days. No one gets to fully chill, do they?
We do get to chill. This is just extra little stuff.
Yeah, oh, good. It's good that you keep it going. At least you can work. That's the beauty of these boats, is you can work on them.
Yeah,
It's unreal.
so good.
Absolutely brilliant.
Great little desk. Dad's got his little desk here.
Little nav station, which
Got
nobody
stuff
seems to
all
sit
over
that
it.
way. It's all Janet's, it's all Ellen's stuff all over it. Yeah, we're supposed to sit around the other way, but I find it better sitting that way because usually I'm watching the TV as well at the same time. Well, after a pretty wet, wild night, it wasn't too windy, but God, it was wet. I think we had 2 inches of rain just on the hill behind us. That's where they measure it. There's a big airfield there for the defence base. And yeah, it's pretty wet. We got a bit of wet bedding because we left hatches open and things like that we weren't quite expecting. Our Ellen, who's just finished her coxswain's certificate in Tasmania, is going to take us off the mooring.
Gonna try.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you're not going to try it. It's pretty simple. You just need to.
Oh, it's, you know,
Just
really
need to-
simple when you did it a few times.
Yeah, I'm just going to get a feel for it, and we're going to drive home and get rid of Ellen and Janet for a couple of days. They're going to head up to Canberra, and Janet's going with Ellen for a couple of nights in a hotel up there, which will be nice. And I'll be back at work making kayaks, which is what I do. So what's going to happen here is the wind's going to blow the boat back, Ellen, anyway. So you won't have to do much. Mum's going to be able to loosen that off. Yeah. Righto, chuck it. Chuck it. That's it, Ellen. Right on, put it back into neutral again now. That's it, and let it settle. Cool. All right, let us drift back now. We've got just enough momentum to get back, get clear of that line. Let's see how far back we are now. We could go reverse on your starboard side. That's it, starboard, that's it. What that's going to do, that's going to bring the back end around, swing us upwards. See how it's bringing the boat around? So slow is pro. My mate Ronnie Lilburn taught me slow is pro, and that's so important because every time you make a move you want to make it nice and slow. And now you can just drive off with both in forward. That's it. And then start to probably put a bit of power on, just a little bit, get up to about 1500 revs or 1200. More, a bit more, a little bit more.
You want to go that way?
No, a little bit more. We'll go across that way. Try and avoid that mooring. A bit more, try and take the vibration out, that's it. And get them both equal. So this here is the remnants of us cleaning up this morning after the rain, because it was wet last night. And the bloody mooring kept banging on the boat again, which was a bit of a pain. And I hate these moorings over here. They're huge. They're 3 foot high with a massive steel shackle on them. And I ended up getting up 3 or 4 times and tying it off close to the boat as you do, but it still doesn't matter because then it bangs up under the forebeam. And we've got me and Mini Me over here. Ellen at the helm, who's just finished her marine coxswain's license down in Tasmania, so she's now licensed to drive commercial vessels. Looking good, guys. And we're motoring back today because there's no wind again. It's been a weekend of no wind, but there is a swell. There's about a 2 metre easterly swell rolling through the heads there, and it's yesterday it was gnarly coming across here. It was pretty rough. The guys from Marine Rescue came up and visited us yesterday. They're friends of Janet's. Janet skippers the big JB41 with all the guys, or gets out and drives it around. And they were telling us how rough it was outside. It was pretty substantial. It was a wild trip out there yesterday. So we cut across the bay, and it was pretty hairy. But anyway, we made it, and the boat handled it really well. We're heading back into town now, and we're going to go back onto our mooring, and then we'll get Ellen back to the car, and then Janet and Ellen will head up to Canberra for a couple of days while I head off to work. Ellen loving being at the helm. We were watching Parlay Revival last night, and Ellen was frothing at the bit about the surfing in the Mentawai Islands, weren't you?
Yeah, it's pretty nice. Kind of the dream, actually.
Yeah, she was just saying that she was talking to Zach about doing the lap around Australia in a caravan, and I think she's hatching a plan to do Indonesia in a boat. Well, if Janet and I want to take some time off and spend some time on land, maybe that's an option. We give them the boat for a year and they just take off.
Oh,
Yeah, that's not a bad option, is it?
it's not a bad option, Dad.
You're happy with that
You should
idea?
think about doing that. I'm kidding.
I raised my kids to be wholesome and gentle, but there's a bit of a gold digger going on here at the moment. Synergy was built for the family. It wasn't just for Janet and I, although Janet and I will primarily use it. We did build it for family time, but Ellen said, I don't want to spend the money on the flight to get to Queensland, but I'm sure we'll get her up to Queensland for a couple of trips. I'm sure about that. And Zach will do it just for the fishing, I reckon. I'm back in the factory for about 8 weeks, but I've got a lot to do. I've got kayaks to build, I've got our phone call tender to finish, and yesterday I extricated this mould from the swamp out the back and spent half a day cleaning it. This is a double sea kayak that used to be produced in New Zealand, and I bought the mould about 15 years ago, and I'm able to obviously refurbish this mould and get it back to a working condition to build a fleet for Dane at Sea Kayak Jervis Bay. Now, I originally started that business back in 1995, so it is now 30 years old and is doing very, very well, because what's actually happened is there's been a move more towards experience-based tourism than actually owning kayaks. So we're finding the kayaking industry is really almost on its knees from a point of view of manufacturing here in Australia. Second-hand markets exploded because they're big and hard to manage. Still the most beautiful way to spend time on the water, even better than a catamaran. And I'll stand by that, being a manufacturer and an avid lover of sea kayaking. I just love the experience, and being able to travel by sea kayak is just unparalleled compared to any other type of travel. You can't go as far, obviously, and you've got to make an effort, which I love. But that's part of the next 8 weeks for me. And as you can see, this mould is, I think it's about 30 years old. So I've had it for probably half of its life, and it's going to need quite a bit of restoration, particularly down here. A little bit of polishing required, and certainly going to take a little bit of work to get it rejuvenated. Now, the other thing that's going on here, I needed some hatch rims, the internal rims, to go inside. They're actually a dress rim, and I was going to buy the plastic ones, and I was going to make fiberglass ones. But Janet and I have decided to have a timber liner in between the blind, the fly screen and the blockout blind. We've decided to put a timber surround to match the remaining timber in the boat as well. So that's Tassie oak. What I've done is I've actually just mitered some Tassie oak here, and that'll fit in between the roof liner and the hatch itself, and then we'll be able to fit those blinds, those blockout blinds. And I've just basically mixed up some wood flour and epoxy, and essentially what that's going to do is give a nice sort of wood sort of finish to the whole thing. And then finally we have the foam core tender, and that's going to be a project that's probably going to go on for the next 2 or 3 months. Really hasn't moved since probably 2 months or so. You know, I've basically been away and we were getting the house ready to rent out. I would have probably found it a lot easier to move out entirely rather than try to get the home ready for holiday rental, as we've had to leave all of our furniture, which is all relatively new. It's pretty fresh, and we've put it in the hands of a property manager to deal with our home, and that's now up on Airbnb and a number of other sites, stays, booking.com. If you're coming down to Jervis Bay, it's a beautiful home. It's a waterfront home. It's actually on the river, not far from where we moor our boat. So we're very fortunate to be able to rent that out and get, you know, be able to still go back and forth as we needed. We did consider a permanent rental in there, which would have just been easy. We could have just put them in, taken off, earned a reasonable income out of it and taken off, and not have to worry about it. But there is such a demand for holiday rental in our area that we thought we'd give that a go for 6 months, see if that goes. If it doesn't work out, we'll just put a permanent rental and bugger off and not come back for a while. So there are certain rules in Australia about holiday rentals. Obviously, if you're away from your home for more than 5 or 6 years and you don't go back and permanently reside in it, then you can be subject to capital gains tax, as it becomes a business asset, not a family home. So we're hoping to get 2 to 5 years of good travel in the Cat, and that's bloody exciting. I mean, we may never leave the east coast of Australia. I think we probably will.